We will now go on, and as I kindly ask Professor Saleem from Palestine, and Palestine to really make an injection from a place where we didn't hear a lot at this conference, but part of our global health landscape. It's wonderful that you are here.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much for having me. It's really a great pleasure and honor to be with you. Thank you, Marcel, for that kind invite. Really, this talk is not a political. It's just to bring you down to reality while you're sitting in Basel and having a nice champagne on the Rhine. That the reality actually to drive science, good science, and the good global health. Actually, when it faces the reality in certain places on Earth, that's not exactly what you want to see or what you expect. But I want to share you really with the challenges that a scientist and a public health researcher can face in a place like Palestine. We do have a brilliant people with really a high-profile scientists all over the place on the air, on a different international profile, and we do, as a nation, we really value education. We built, even under the very, very strict and difficult conditions, we built academic institutions. What you see here is our Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, which is about 4,000 students of medical students, and the pharmacy, nursing, public health, family medicine. And we also have a unique setup of a university teaching hospital, which works side by side with the university to promote both a public health, a tertiary care medicine, and also medical education. We, however, face a tough reality in terms of doing research. We have restrictions on movement that we can't control. People can't move from one place to another without the checkpoints. Researchers can't stay until late to do proper research because of security threats and because of other regulatory threats or restrictions. And we have also instability in terms of institutional stability because of political instability and security instability. What you see here is a good university before the war, and this is what you see after an airstrike where all the labs and the academic institution has been destroyed. What you see here is actually also a restriction on importing goods and facilities, either for research or for healthcare, because you don't have any control on borders. For instance, this PET scan we have been forbidden from buying it because some people think that we're so clever that we can convert a PET scan to a nuclear bomb. If you think that coming here is so easy, it's like a piece of cake for you, it's a nice journey. For scientists from our university to come here, it's a nightmare. Because first of all, they will have to start applying for visa for any place in the world that they want to attend. And because Palestinians, 60% of them are refugees, suddenly people remember what refugee is nowadays, but 60, 70 years ago, still 70% of the population are refugees and they don't even have a passport. So they have to apply for visa, many of them are declined. After having a visa, they can't cross they can't leave the country through an airport. They have to cross from one border to another to actually Amman, and then from there, if they are lucky enough to cross the borders without any hustle, as you see here, then they will be, after only 2 days, getting into the airport. And after that, they will get to the other side of the world, and then the return journey is another nightmare as well. So by that time, they will forget about all the champagne that they had on the ride. We also have difficulties in recruiting scientists, because what we can see on neighboring countries where you can actually convince a scientist to come and join you to your university, this is not a straightforward process. We can't even recruit scientists from one place to another within Palestine. So in the West Bank, in the Gaza Strip, you can't bring them to the West Bank. And unlike, I'm just giving you a real life story from today, from this morning. I was busy all morning dealing with this young gentleman who has been in this conference just 4 or 5 days ago in the Swiss workshop. And he's a cardiologist who just wanted to join us from Canada and work as a cardiologist and researcher. He's part of the Swiss collaboration group. And he's still being being isolated between the Israeli border and the Jordanian border, because the Jordanians didn't allow him to go back, and the Israelis were not allowing him to get in, because though he's a Palestinian, because he's from Gaza, and though he's holding a Canadian passport, because of he's from Gaza, he can't get into the West Bank. So he's still just residing between the two borders and waiting for someone to save him. What we're looking for really is not empathy and not sympathy. We're looking for true globalization and true networking. We want to do good science. We want to do good research. We want to advance public health. We want to advance national and international science and public health worldwide. So the best way that we can work together is a true globalization by networking. And you will find that by networking with Palestinian institutes, you will find really talented people who will be more than happy to promote good science and good research. And you will have a very welcoming country. Thank you very much for having me.
Professor Saleem, you hear, you're part of it. And your last slide and your last words, we hear you very well. And basically, it's not an apology, but it's very important that actually we include these dimensions that you show when we always talk about partnership, neglected people, forgotten people in this world. So it was very nice to have your rejection. You can take home, and we can take home all, that we really have to do this together. And as I think the other sentence that was made, this is really a way on, as long as we are not including these inequalities, will remain. Thank you so much. And I invite now